Rumors spreading round United Texas town about the shack outside the game. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. I'm racing.
What's going on, guys? Logan Hall here. It's a beautiful day here in Nashville. I'm a little windy, uh, but it's beautiful though. Really nice temperature. I'm under my covered patio, which kind of helps with the sun a little bit. But it's like high 70s, low 80s. But anyway, today we're doing ribs. So I've already kind of been cooking them already. Um, because ribs take a while to make. On average between 4 to 6 hours. So, um, but I've already been cooking them for maybe 2 or 3 hours now, and we're at the point now where we actually need to take them out and do the wrap. Um, so there's a lot of different methods for for sort of wrapping your ribs. You can either do what's called the foil boat, where you have uh, some of this here, and you basically, just kind of wrap it up into sort of a boat sort of pattern on the bottom. And again, the purpose of that is basically to stop the underside from cooking, but again, the top is open, so that allows for good bark development, sort of crust, right? There's also wrapping completely with a butcher's paper, so that's more of a brisket thing. Um, but then there's also the option of just not wrapping at all. And if you want a really crispy, cook or rack ribs, and you can go that route. But again, I like to do the foil boat method because you kind of get the best of both worlds. You don't get a like an underside that's too cooked, but you still get a nice crust. So what I'd like to do first actually is just show you uh, the progress so far. I'm going to switch my camera around. Let's do back triple. All right. So these are my ribs right now. I'm going to hit them just with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. So again, like the sun is kind of in the view here, so you can't really see that all too well. But I think you can at least see this side of it, and it already looks really really good. Um, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to check the internal temperature. So we're looking for 165, 167, 168. Okay. So I think again, I'm like it's going to register differently for different areas of the brisket, or sorry, of the ribs. But again, as soon as the thickest point reads like 160, 170, this is a good point for us to go ahead and do the forward go. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of set that down right there for just a second. And I'm going to make a spot on the table here where I can lay down a few sheets of foil. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, again, I mentioned earlier that this is quite a windy day here. So it's, again, like it's not exactly perfect conditions like to pull this off and have these things flying around, but um, like that. But I'll try to do here. Let me just kind of keep this down for a second while the wind comes. But I think we're in a good spot right now. What I'm going to do, and something that I'd like to do actually is put a few pats of butter in that down down over the bottom. So I'm just going to go grab some butter real quick. We got some butter here. So what we'll do, I'm just going to unwrap these. I just like to cut it like straight, get me sort of straight from the wrapper, and then I just peel that off like so. So I'm doing 3 pats. Again, like it's fine to get away with 2, but I'm going to set those down, and I'll spray this one more time. This is probably the last time I'm going to do this. Okay, that. Actually, I could put some more in. Got a fresh bottle here. Let's see if that's enough. Yep. So that's probably the last of that I'm going to do. Reason being is we're now wanting to try to make some nice bark, right? Um, so moisture is going to be the enemy there. But again, how you make the foil boat is you just kind of get 3 nice sheets of foil here, and then you just kind of roll it up. And like the walls on the boat also kind of help keep all the fat and like the moisture in too. But we now have this all nicely wrapped. We're going to put this back on, and we're not going to change the temperature just yet. So let's close that. All right. So I'll kind of show you what I have going on here too. Um, so again, so I'm starting to make the sauce as well. So what I have here is actually kind of half ketchup, half hoisin sauce. The only reason why I'm doing hoisin is because I actually ran out of ketchup. So again, I didn't quite plan too thoroughly. Um, but anyway, hey, we have Boston Collector here, man. What's going on, Boston? First, have a great stream, gentlemen. What type of ribs are we cooking here? So basically, it's just mean, I don't think it's baby back, but it's other kind of ribs. Um, and yeah, okay, okay. So like the other style is, yeah. I mean, so the other style is basically just like the St. Louis style, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm not a huge fan of the baby backs. I just don't feel like you get enough meat on those. Um, but anyway, we have sort of like a ketchup and hoisin base here. The other few things that I want to go ahead and add here is, um, and I actually have this all printed out here and everything. So apple cider vinegar, 1 cup. So let's go ahead and pour that in. One cup. So let's incorporate that. I really need a whisk here. Um, yep, that's all right. Brown sugar, 1/4 of cup. I actually have some measuring spoons inside. I'm gonna go grab those real quick. All right. Hey, we have Ali Reza. What's going on, sir? Um, yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello. Catching some of this live today. Hope you're well. Hey, man, thank you. I'm doing just fine myself. It's a really nice day here in Nashville. The temperature's not too bad. Um, so I have so again, so we just did the foil bow on the ribs. So we put those back in for just a bit. What I'm going to do now is just kind of finish the glaze here. So I have some really nice, big, hearty measuring cups here. Um, and if you can find this brand, it's very, very good stuff, really high quality stuff. Um, so the next thing we want to do is add some brown sugar. Again, like you want to do the brown sugar sort of in like the middle or even to the end because it has the tendency to burn. Like if you just started with brown sugar, then again, like it's definitely going to burn too quickly, and it's not going to have a very good taste to it. So I'm going to scoop out 1/4 of a cup here, like so. Dump that in, and what else do we have? 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. And it's actually going to be easier if I just do a 1/2 teaspoon twice, because that actually fits in the thing here. So there's that Dijon mustard. Worcestershire sauce, classic ingredient. So let's find our tablespoon. So we're going to do a little bit of crystal hot sauce too. I got mustard on my shirt. This is a new bottle. I need to go tear open this label real quick. I'll be right back. Got the bottle. And how much of that do we need? We need 1 to 2 teaspoons. So let's go back to the whole teaspoon. You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna just just do it by eyeball, right? Let's see what else. Uh, black pepper. So we'll do a few cranks of that. And what else do we have? A bit of garlic powder. And last but not least, a little bit of salt. But I'm going to be using this. So this is really, really good stuff for briskets, like for any kind of barbecue. Definitely get like some seasoned salt. And that is our sauce here. So we're going to crank the temperature up just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to get a whisk just to make sure these clumps are out. All right, so we're going to let that slowly simmer. Fuck it, do it live. That's right. That's right, Ollie. Yes, I'm also just drinking like an Aperol spritz. Shout out to the Grifter from Venice. It's a nice sort of summertime drink. You know, very light, not too heavy like a whiskey or whatever, right? You know, again, I save the whiskeys more for like the evenings or maybe after a nice meal. But yeah, cheers to anybody that's watching. Thank you for spending a little bit of your Saturday with me. How do you not have people over here? If you start a grill up in rural Florida, it's like, yeah, Beacon's a Gondor, exactly. Um, I mean, it has to do with like the algorithm. You know, it's got a. I mean, yes, yes, we do have a lot of people here. You know, in our own community, um, but it gets where not everybody is subbed or whatever. You know, there is actually like an issue. Um, Mathis Mathis reached out to me and said when he was looking at like the bell icon, he couldn't switch it to all for some reason. And it's only when you're set on all is when you actually get like the notification that like I'm going live. Um, so so for those of you that are watching, check to make sure that you have notifications set to all, and that will ensure that uh, you will actually see when I go live, basically. Um, but let me go back to my ingredients here. Um, so just to show you where we're at. So we've been cooking for about 3 hours. I'm at 220. And now on the second sheet, so after that a 3 hour mark, we did the foil boat, wrap temp once it hits 165 to 170, raise the smoker temp to 300. So what I want to do, and this is actually going to give us a black screen for a moment, but I want to check. Hey, hey, no Biggie Sal, legend, man. Thank you so much for joining. Ribs, now you're talking my language. Let's fucking go. That's right, man. Yeah, and we're also doing our own glaze here. I'm gonna bump that up to a 3 and just kind of keep this stirring down here. We want this to not be like a watery texture, but more of like a glazed texture. So we just made that in case you missed that, Sal. Sorry. Um, but anyway, um, so I will actually go black here just for a minute, because I need to check the temperature on the other app. So just give me 1 second. All right. So I actually need to change my cook settings here. Okay, so it's not going to let me do that unless. Okay, let's just redo this real quick. Let's do charcoal. Oops, that's too hot there. Uh, let me go back. Okay, guys, sorry about that. Um, so I'm using an app to sort of track all the temperature and everything. Um, and so I had set a temperature of 165 originally because that's when I wanted to do the foil boat. Um, but now that we've hit that, we need to be shooting for a 195. Um, and so it wouldn't let me change the temperature. I basically had like to start a new cook on it. It's like, so that's why it took a little bit. Apologies there. But yeah, so this is now at a nice simmer. So we're going to let this simmer for maybe 10 to 15 minutes, um, just until it starts to get a little bit thicker. And then we're going to let it cool for about 10 minutes as well. Um, but again, I mean, we still probably have like an hour to like an hour and a half into this cook. Um, so there's going to be plenty of time to let that cool naturally. Um, all right. So let me read my thing again. Raise smoker temperature up to 300. So let me um, close that up. And then I'll probably have to babysit this for just a moment just to watch the temperature go up and just make sure that like it stays there at 300. So I actually bought some pretty cool tech maybe about 6 months ago. I guess it's what now? No, maybe further than that, maybe like 8 months ago. This was sort of last fall. Um, and it's basically, uh, where did I put it? There we go. Um, so this is called the Chef's Temp. Uh, and it's basically just like a digital sort of readout. Um, so basically, you have like the ambient temperature, and then you have your probe temperature. Um, now, this is good by itself, but you can also get basically like this smart fan. Um, there we go. So you can also use this smart fan, and that will hook up to your gauge. But then you also have um, I fell back. Looks like you also have sort of like a stand here for like your probe and everything. So again, all three things sort of virtually connect basically. So like the gauge, the fan, and then the probe all sort of talk to each other. And the idea is the fan will basically blow on the coals when your temperature gets too low. Um, what so again during the first 3 hours of this, I was uh, I was basically trying to. So for the first 3 hours, I was trying to see if I could use the fan to like keep it at 220. Um, the fan definitely helped to get to 220, but it didn't really do anything to keep it going over 220. So so I did some googling and I tried to see like, oh, am I doing something wrong? But it seems like other people had this complaint too. So I don't know, maybe I should have done a little bit more research before I bought this. It was a very, very new product when I bought it. And I don't usually do that. I mean, when something is like brand spanking new, like, I mean, again, from like a brand new company, that's a little bit risky to buy, right? But if it's, something new from like a very old and sort of a well respected sort of company, then it's, fine. Just like a, again, 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 like, so when you buy like a Datejust or sort of any Rolex, like from Rolex, like, it's going to be a good watch, right? Um, but but anyway, yeah. So this was a fairly new company. I think they're actually based out of China. Now, now again, not saying like that, not saying that like there's anything wrong with China, but they do make some good products. But it's one of again, it's sort of like the trifecta. It's a brand new company from China and a brand new product. That's a little iffy, right? But anyway, that's enough bitching about that. Um, so I just checked my gauge over here. We are sitting at about 300 now. It really doesn't take too long at all to get there. So let's go ahead and mix this up again. Something Allie that excuse me. This is something that you would appreciate. Is that I actually went to like my local sort of cigar shop. It was either this past Wednesday or Thursday after work. I'll go show you guys what I actually got here, just sort of while we wait for this thing to cook. So let me be right back. All right. We're going to be doing a, let's see what Ali says. Let's see. You can tell that there's a generation gap between Logan and me. He has instructions and tracks temperature within app and and not feeling 18 inches away from the surface. Ali, like when you're smoking, you know, everything is like so precise and like you really got to be on top of your game. Um, like with most everything else, I mean, I just kind of wing it. Like there's no such thing as a pro. Like with most everything else I make. Um, but again, if you want really good barbecue, you definitely have to know what you're doing in terms of you know, checking the temperature and making sure that things aren't cooking too quickly. Blah blah blah. But anyway, let's keep this stirring here. And I'll do a little bit of a cigar unboxing here. So, like I said, I went to like my local place. Um, well, actually, again, it's like I take that back. There's actually two places that I go to get my fix, I guess. Um, so there's one place here locally. And like I don't want to give the name away because that kind of gives away where I live. Um, but it's a good shop. I mean, do they have like the best of the best? No. Um, but they kind of satisfy, 90% of what you're looking for. Um, so anyway, so the first thing that I got, and I'm just kind of wrapping, or sort of getting all the wrapper off, but it's a box of Placencia. Again, that's kind of a tough one here for me to say, but these are slightly darker wrapper, but they are sort of like again, I mean, these are just really, really good sort of classic smoke. It's not quite as light as you can sort of say it's sort of a Connecticut wrapper, but it's I guess closer to sort of like uh, you can sort of closer to sort of like a Nicaraguan style wrapper. And that's actually the same story here for these padrones. So this is a series 1926, number 6. And let's see if I can get this one open. Yes, I can. So I got the wrapper off. So let's do quick unboxing here. So of course you have the little wrapper underneath there, but then you also have them all nicely laid out here. You have this little thing. But yeah, so I picked some of those up from my okay. Like so, both of these came for like the nicer place downtown. I'm fine saying that because that's I mean, again, I mean, it's a decent sort of distance away from me. So they're called Nashville Cigar. They have a very good selection. I find. They're definitely like the best shop in town. And they have a really nice sort of a smoking room. I think they even have like private rooms for like events and things like that. Um, but it's a really, really nice place. Really nice, couches and sort of like leather chairs, and they have like a bunch of TVs and stuff. But yeah, really good spot. Um, but I will probably smoke one of these this evening. Guys, you tell me in the chat, what should I smoke this evening? Should I smoke 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 just like a number 6 here? Or should I go with the Placencia? You know what? Can I do a poll? Or is that like a StreamYard only thing? Uh Private chat settings. You know what? That may actually be more of a YouTube thing. I don't think I can do that from StreamYard. Um, but anyway, yes, that was my haul there, and that'll last me. Again, I mean, I also have like some Opus X, and then I have some just some other random stuff like the T52s and like and things like that. Um, I'm like at any given time, I'll probably have between 30 and 50 cigars on hand. So not super crazy. I mean, like there's guys that will have 300, 400, 500. And I can definitely store that much. It's like I have a pretty decent size humidor. But I just don't feel the need to have that many on hand like at any given time. So um but anyway, so we've been staring at this pot for a while, and I'm sure you guys are getting bored of it. Let's do this. I'm gonna shift back to this real quick, and I'll show you sort of like the bark that we are starting to develop here. Now, again, this is slightly like covered here, so you can't fully see it, but there is some very good bark developing there. So we'll let that get back up to 300 here. And probably what I'll do, I think one thing that we could do while yeah, you know what? Let me do this. We're going to do something that I've never done before on the channel or sort of on a stream here. We're going to be doing a bit of gardening, which I know that doesn't sound exactly too exciting, like riveting. Um, but it all will make sense here in a moment. Um, so I'm going to let you look at the pot for just a little bit longer, and then I'm going to go get my trowel and probably some gloves actually too. Um, and we're going to be planting some herbs. So I'll be right back. Give me like 2, 3 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. So I have a trowel here. No, this will not be used for grilling. And some gloves. Like these are not exactly like gardening gloves because I do this like literally once a year maybe. Um, but I went to Home Depot this morning, and so I got several herbs that I will use for my cooking throughout the summer and the fall. Um, and I have a little herb garden over here, so I got several different things, and one thing that's sort of like a wild card, I guess. All right, if the glove fits, I quit. So let's do this. I think this is pretty much done here. I'm actually going to turn this off and just give it one more whisk. So that'll cool over time. Let's check the temperature here one more time. All right. So something that you guys usually don't see is my garden here. Um, so this is just sort of like an herb garden that I have on the side. Um, and I will, again, when I have, for, again, for when I'm actually like cooking stuff, and I don't want to go to the store to get a whole, like a whole thing of cilantro, like a celery or something. Um, Not celery, that, like you can sort of like chives or anything. Um, I I basically just kind of grow my own thing. So let's make sure that you guys can see this. Yep. So okay, so I'm just gonna tear up some of the stuff that was in here last year. So we still have that. We can toss that. We don't need this either. So I also have like an irrigation system here. Just again, nothing fancy, just like three little spouts, and that just goes up to like my sort of sort of geez, what do you call those? Just like a water spigot. Yeah, that's it. Um, so on the very top layer here, I actually have some mulch from the gardeners. Um, so I live in like an HOA style sort of area, um, and they do all the landscaping and everything. It's really nice. Um, but sometimes their leaf blowers get all the mulch uh, into my little pots here. Now again, the mulch isn't going to hurt it, but if I can help it, I prefer this just be like the potting soil. So I'm going to get that little top layer out. Let's go ahead and put the little spigot out. All right. So what I'm going to do, I have a bag of like some potting mix here, and I'm just going to put some new stuff on top of it. Well, actually, you know what? Let's actually plant things first before I do that. Let's go back to the trowel here. So I'm going to make a little bit of a hole here for the first thing. I was like, the first thing is actually just like a wild card thing, actually. Um, oh, that's not what I wanted. Actually, let's put this over here. So I have some chilies here. Again, you can, it's like it's not exactly like an actual, herb or whatever. Um, but I saw this and I thought, you know what? There's some Indian dishes that I could use this in. Like I could use this in like some Mexican stuff. Um, this is really not coming out all too easy. Again, guys, I'm not a gardener. I'm a griller. Um, so if I fuck this up, then you know why. Okay. So those are the chilies. And here in a moment, sort of after we're done with like this first box, I will probably still need to sort of check the temperature one more time. That'll cost me like it's like a black screen, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and do the second thing here. Second thing is just nice and simple basil, right? Nothing crazy. Kyogen, Kyogen, sort of everything else from here on out is going to be very normal, I guess. So let's make sure that's really down in there good. Oh, it's windy. Okay. So we have our basil in there. I mean, by the way, I'm probably the only guy that has ever done gardening in a day chest. Not exactly ideal for the situation. Guys, tell me, what is a good gardening watch, in your opinion? Maybe like a green OP. But again, you guys tell me, what do you think a good gardening watch is? Not that I'm going to go buy one or anything, but just let me know. Next up, rosemary. Oh, we're down to one viewer, and people are pissed about no grilling right now. You know what? I should actually keep these planted here. Um, where did my? Okay, here's the chili. Put that in there. We did sweet basil just now. Let's put that. And now let's get this rosemary situated. That one wasn't too bad. And now, last but not least, well, I mean, it's not really last because we still have like two more boxes to go here. But again, this is just something like to kill the time a little bit. Because smoking takes a long time. We now have cilantro. This is OC's favorite right here. OC is at some watch event in New York right now, actually. Um, don't want to give too much details away. Um, but he's with some friends, and sure they're having a good time. Okay. So again, just in summary, whoops, and our things are starting to fall out. Let's put cilantro down. Let's rosemary. So here's our spread so far, guys. We have our chili adobo, basil. We have rosemary and then cilantro. Now, I mean, I may have actually bought a second cilantro. I can't remember. But let's take a break from this for just a moment. Let's go and check our temperature here. Yeah, so we're getting some nice bark on the top here. That is looking great. I'm gonna just do a temperature check real quick. 175. 160-ish. 17. Yeah, okay. So we're pretty consistently okay. So now we're getting up close like to 190. I'm actually curious what my app says right now. So this will go black just for a moment. Um, so just bear with me real quick as I check the probe's temperature. I gotta take off one of the gloves for this. Okay, this is gonna go black for just one moment. Okay. So let's catch up on the comments here. Let's see. Farm streams. Oh, geez. Yes. Um, yeah. So Mathis, like now I'm doing farm streams. He's gone full aggro on us. Exactly. Oh, whoops! I exit out of the comments. Um, let's see. G Shock is the gardening watch. Go buy one. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, like the G Shock is really sort of like an anything watch almost. You can go to war on that. Last two hombres standing. Yep, that's right. That's right. Ollie. Uh, let's see. Me and Ollie like our food how we like our women. Latin and spicy as fuck. Yeah. Hey, man, that makes three of us. That makes three of us, Sal. Um, I've never actually dated Latin. I've dated Filipino. I've dated Indian. I've dated just straight up white. Um, but again, I do like a bit of culture in my life. So now, in terms of who gave the best, you know what? You know what? No, this is a family stream. I'm not gonna go there. uh, but uh, but um, but yeah, yeah, Indian, Filipino, and white. That is my experience. Okay, this is getting some nice consistency going there. Um, so I think we're in a position where we can just kind of let this sit. We can let it chill a bit. Again, this is going well as well. Let's close that and let that get back up to 300. But guys, the much anticipated. Uh, let's see. Let's get that all nice and centered and everything. The highly anticipated farm streams, the herb streams is back. So I've laid out sort of everything that would go here, sort of in this box, and they're all sort of lined up here. Um, so I know which one goes where. But we did actually have one fall over here. Oh, you probably just saw my horrible shoes. Sorry, guys, my shoe game is not on point. But in this one, again, we need to get all the sort of the top layer off of all this mulch. Again, we don't need mulch. We just need the potting soil. So let's get some of these roots out too. I don't remember what that was, but there's actually still a bit of chives from last year in here. So we're going to keep those chives actually, and I actually have some more chives that will just be adding to it. I just took a whole chunk of these. Um, and then we don't need this anymore. There's basil in this one. Oh, there's a bug. Let's see if I can get you on stream, buddy. Guys, it's Logan Hall bug streams now. We went from grilling, we went to farming, now we're doing bug streams, guys. Okay. I think we got most of the mulch out. So, quick little story. um, so back in my high school days, I used to be in a bit of a rock band, sort of it was sort of nothing serious. Um, but I played bass in this band, and I was in it for basically all 4 years of high school. Um, we did the talent show pretty much every year. We almost always won first place in the talent show. Um, so it was fun. Um, and there was one year, actually, I'll keep this little chives thing here. There was one year um, that my band and I decided that we wanted to compete in sort of a battle of the bands uh, thing, sort of locally. And this was back home, sort of where I used to live. It wasn't like in Nashville, but anyway. So so we entered ourselves into this competition. We go to this place. We do our set. I think it was like 30 minutes, like per band, like or 20 minutes per band, or something like that. Um, and so anyway, we do our set and everything, and the band that went on after us was called "Do You Like Bugs?" That was the name of the band. "Do You Like Bugs?" And long story short, they do all this like the revealing of who won and all that. And okay, yeah. So both of these are parsley, kind of sort of intertwined here. But anyway, long story short, they're doing all the sort of like the final sort of things, and we didn't come in last, but we did lose to "Do You Like Bugs?" Um, which probably means that the band was, sort of our band was pretty shitty then, right? Um, because like I think these guys are like making like animal noises, and they were like fucking like doing wolf shit and all that. So yeah, so we lost to that, sadly. But yeah, just a fun little story. Now, oh geez, I just lost like half of that. Um, Now let's do the final. So I'm doing two parsleys here in a row. I actually meant to do that with the cilantro too, but I stupidly didn't put those two together, and I've already kind of planted. I mean, I guess I could technically like uproot that and then go put that where it actually should be, um, but that's all right. I think I will put a little bit of new potting soil in this one too. Yeah, guys, we're doing grill streams, we're doing farm streams, we're doing bug streams. I have quite the quite the big variety here. Still holding 3 viewers, so again, thank you guys for your support, despite it being a little bit different than normal. So this box is probably the one that or again, probably the one that we don't have to do too much to. Well, I mean, okay, so there still is some mint left over from last year here. Um, I'm trying to decide whether I want to keep this or not. I'm probably not actually, um, just because again, I have like a fresh thing of mint here. Let's get the water thing out. I probably will keep all of this thyme. Get it? Thyme. Making watch jokes now. So there is a little bit of mint, like still that's sort of left over there from the sides. Um, Yeah, let's get all this junk out. Let's get all the potting, or not the potting, but like all the mulch out. I think there's still some roots in here too. Let's get all the roots out. Lots of roots. Yeah, I'd like to separate this. Okay. So that goes to that. Okay, I think this is ready. Okay. So, first one in this box is the new mint. Yep. So I'm gonna, I mean, I probably don't even need the trowel. I can just use my hands here. So we'll put that on the far end. We got some bugs in here too. I mean, I guess that's the sign of a healthy garden or whatever. I've got stuff falling over there. Let's see what this one is. English English time. So I'm actually gonna just put this over here where we had the other time. Oh, I've got some plastic cups just rolling in the yard over there. I gotta go get that. So that time was nice and easy. And then finally, we have the other piece of cilantro here. But that's all right. I mean, temperature, would it be better if they were both in the same box? Yeah, but that's all right. It's quite all right. All right, guys, I made a big mess here, but this is the second box. Again, I have the thyme on the left, a little bit of mint left over from last year. The other cilantro, the mint. We have parsley, chives, the other cilantro, rosemary, sweet basil, and the hot pepper. So that's a pretty good spread. I'm gonna put this back over here real quick. And you guys can watch me clean up here. But here in a moment, we're also going to check the temperature here. Oh, we need to do this. English time. All right, guys, I cleaned up a little bit here, and I'm going to take this stuff inside real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we're gonna go back to the table here in a minute, and you know what? I'm gonna get some more ice for my drink here. I'll be right back. Ice has been replenished. All right, so let's take a look. This is getting some really nice bark on it now. Really looking good. So let's close that up. And then I'm actually going to switch back to, let's do uh, front camera. Come on. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. My hair is a mess. Let's see here. Let's catch up on the comments. Skies and Boys, what's up, man? Logan should try and break up the bottom of the root bola. Man, and that's some very, very, very sort of advanced gardening tip right there, Skies. And you know, again, my specialty is grilling. I don't know anything about, you know, gardening other than like you just put them in the ground, you give them a little bit of water, and that's it. But again, thank you though. Good tip. All right, I'm gonna twist this around a little bit. It's nice and thick now. Let's actually give that a taste too. Cheers. Whoops. Cheers. You know, it's good, but it's a little too fruity almost. I want to add some more hot sauce and some Worcestershire sauce. So put that in Worcestershire. And some more pepper. Like, you know, it was just missing sort of like those more sort of like it was like the manly notes. You know what I mean? Maybe just a little bit of more of this seasoning salt. Whoop, kind of bumped you guys. Sorry. Let's do the live mixing, guys. Better. Get in there. Yeah, I mean, I think we're just maybe just like a little too much of like the apple cider vinegar because like it did call like for one cup here. So that's quite a bit. I'm also going to add just another pinch of the brown sugar. A little bit more garlic powder. A little bit more acid from the mustard. Bumped you guys. Sorry. Again, guys, always taste your sauces because you don't want to like get to the end and then you're like, man, like why does that taste weird? But much more manly tasting now. Maybe just a little bit more hot sauce. You know, and like the nice thing about food is you can sort of you can make it what you want it to be. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be like some recipes that you can follow and whatever. You know, like and following recipes are always great, but when you're first getting started, because you're building up your knowledge, you're like, oh, okay, that goes with that, and that doesn't go with that, and you know, all that type of stuff. You know, and you learn the basic, you know, properties and principles and all that. Let's okay. So I need to go to the black screen again, just one more time. I need to check something. Okay. Mathis says Logan Hall seek help, of course. Uh, it just helps stimulate the root growth. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, man. Fade and arm tats. That's right. No, you know, Mathis, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I've decided not to go with a fade. So there's been a sort of private conversation, you know, between me and some of the other guys. You know, they want me to get a fade, you know, and look like I'm like a fuck boy. You know what I mean? Uh, But the problem is I'm a douche at heart. Uh, you know, you can't take the douche out of me. Uh, you know, and like it's really hard to get like the fuck boy. Oh, you know what? I almost said something very gay, but I caught myself. Um, and it's fucking win. Um, but anyway, I just don't think I'm ready for like the fuck boy life. Um, it's just not quite for me. And again, I'm going to be doing something different with my hair, but it's not going to be the fade. So there will still be there's shit flying everywhere. Um, there will still be you know some changes coming to the hair, um, but it's not quite you know like the fuckboy style hair. It's going to be more the refined, um, you know, like the whiskey drinker, the cigar smoker type of look. You know, and the problem is I don't have enough hair to really pull off the fade anyway. I mean, like most of my hair is on the sides here. Like I'm lucky to have hair on the top. Um, so um, so I'm gonna do something that kind of suits that a little bit better. But anyway, I just checked the check the temperature. We're at 187 right now, so we want to go to 195. Now, usually for pork, you know, you're going to finish close like the 200, 203, somewhere around that ballpark. But the idea is we're going to let it, like we're going to pull it off like at 195, and then we're going to let it rest for 10 to 15 minutes. And that carryover heat is going to bring it up to 203-ish, right? And it's funny because that's actually like the same sort of final temperature for a brisket too. Again, I do a brisket maybe one time a year because it's a lot of food, man. Again, I'm singular. I'm single. I'm living the bachelor life. I'm like, there's really nobody else to feed but me. My cat's not going to eat brisket, right? Um, so, uh, so I, so when I do brisket, what I usually do is like, I'll probably, again, like, I'll either do like one of two things. I will either just buy one half of it, meaning the point or the flat. Um, you know, if you're ever doing just like a smaller brisket and you don't know which one to choose, the flat is the sort of like the more flat end of it. And then the point is going to be the one that's a bit more fatty and sort of juicy. Um, Fade and steroids. Hey, that is an option, Max. Roids are always, the juice, man. That's always an option. No, don't do drugs, kids. But anyway, man, what was I talking about? The point and the flat. Um, so if you don't want to do a whole brisket, and you just want to do like half of a brisket, if you want like the leaner side, which is the flat, then just go with the flat. Again, it's pretty much the same cooking process, like a methodology. But again, for like the leaner cut, you go with the flat, and then if you really like the fatty stuff, uh, you can just get a flat, or sorry, like a point. Just go to your butcher and ask like, hey, I want a flat. Hey, I want a point. Logan Hall sent me for like a 5% discount. No, no, they're gonna be like, who the fuck is that, right? Um, if you mention OC, you get a 20% discount. All butchers, all butchers know OC. Well, um, but anyway, so again, we are shooting for 195. We are probably pretty close. Let me just quickly check that one more time. And we are at 196, guys. So it's time to pull it off. So I'm gonna switch the camera back around. Let's do back triple. Let's get this out of the way for a moment. Ooh, that's looking good, guys. That's real pretty right there, guys. Really, really good bark. So I'm gonna get my gloves and let that sit for again 10, 15 minutes, and then that's naturally gonna raise up to 203. So I'll be right back. So all the sizzling that you hear is all the juices that kind of drop down here. Now, a good chef will make use of drippings like this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to pour this into the glaze. Oh, okay. So most of that just got spilled from the wind. So all of that got spilled from the wind. That sucks. But the good news is we have beautiful ribs, guys. Let me actually get out of the sun here. Check that out. Really nice bark development. Uh, I mean, it just looks amazing, right? But again, we're gonna let that sit there, and I actually might here. Let me just kind of point the camera on that for a second. Um, I may have lost my other piece of paper here. Where did my paper go? Yeah, I think I lost the second page, so that's okay. Um, what that means is I'm gonna have to. Uh, sorry, it's kind of a mess right now. Let me actually go back to the other app real quick. Okay, I'm back, but since I lost my paper, I'm actually going to go back to where I stored it online. So let me just make sure, or or just see if I need to wrap this again. Okay, thank you for your patience, guys. So I do need to wrap this again. So I'm gonna go get a bit more. Actually, let's just use the last of this. So now this is wrapped, and I need to see if the temperature is rising as we do this. So I'm actually going to flip the camera back to me. Front. Yep, it's me again. Let's see. So the temperature dropped quite a bit, actually. I thought it was closer to like the 195, but it's actually like back down like the 174. what I'm probably gonna do, I'm actually probably gonna take the tinfoil off, put it back into like the boat, and then what I'll probably do is I'll set an alarm on my app to notify me when it hits 200, and then I'll pull it off. Because I think the carryover heat is really only going to be um, good for like a few degrees, honestly. So I'm going to do that. Let me put my gloves back on and put it back on for just. So we'll save this. Up and wind, man. Man, this is a rough day for grilling. Again, like it's nice outside, right? But there's just too much wind. All right, so to finish off this sauce here. Ah, all my butter melted. Let me go get a couple more pats of butter, and then we're going to throw that in at like the very end here. And then I'm also going to do one more thing while this gets back up to temperature real quick. So give me just 30 seconds. Got a bit of butter, and we're just going to plop that in here. Now, earlier, I did mention that the drippings from the pan, I did lose those. But there were actually some drippings from the sort of like the tinfoil boat, and I did get those in here. And it's really windy here today, guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna stir this in here. It's butter. I'll actually turn this back on, just put it on a low temperature. But there's one more thing we're gonna do, guys. And I need one more thing from the kitchen, so I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. Again, I know I lost some viewers there, but the final thing we're going to be doing is so there's some baked mac and cheese that's in the oven. I didn't show that because I mean, like Gilgan, I mean, I don't have to show everything on the stream, right? But again, I just felt like, let's focus on things that are actually like sort of like interesting to watch today. So I have some pre-breaded okra here. Again, like it says, air fryer, um, but I'm gonna fry it. So what I'll do now actually is I'm going to let's go back triple. Let's see how that looks. Okay, looks pretty good. So what we'll do, throw some oil in. And this is corn oil, by the way. We've got some flame going here. And so we'll wait until this oil reaches about 350. So it's about 122 currently. try it out now. 240, 260, 270, 280, 290. So we're getting there. We're almost there. So while this gets up to 350, I'm actually going to grab a plate to put these cooked ones on. I'll be right back. I got a plate with some paper towel. That's going to blow away if I keep it like that, actually. So let's check it out now. Ew. Yeah, I'm actually going to kill the heat. So an easy way to cool down your oil is just add more oil. Don't add water. I'll add just a little bit more. And now we just fry them up. Yeah, again, like so. Yeah, so again, so this is fried okra. A very common thing down here in the South. Um, and there's really no trick to it. You just fry it until it's golden brown. So guys, it's time to take this off. Okay, so I'm taking this back. Let's see how they're looking. They're definitely getting there. This is okay. So something else that we can do here. So I just realized I meant to glaze this much sooner, um, because you want the glaze like to really stick. So we'll put that back in just for 5 minutes. Got stuff falling everywhere. So let's take these guys out. If only I could find my. So these are definitely a little bit more golden brown than I wanted, but I was juggling a few things at the same time. So I may not eat that actually, but again, you can't do everything at like the same time. Let me go back to front. Okay. So we are getting to the point where we're almost done. Um, basically, basically, we're just gonna give like 5 minutes for like those ribs to actually, or let the glaze actually, like stick to the ribs. Let me check the internals on that. Real quick. Okay, so we're sitting at 192 on that. I'm gonna get a bit more ice for my drink right here. I'll be right back. Yeah, so the fried okra didn't work. I mean, technically, sort of, if I was watching it, a bit closer, then they'd be fine. But the thing was, I forgot about the glaze, and that made me kind of like move my attention to something else. Um, so sometimes that happens, but hey, that's fine. No worries. Anyway, guys, we are almost there. Honestly, it's pretty amazing to be almost done with a smoking rib stream in under 2 hours. Now, technically, I did about 3 hours of work prior to the stream starting, but still, though, I mean, guys, when I was doing these streams last year, they were 5 hours long, 4 hours, 6 hours. So again, I got to give you some credit here. I'm really crunching down on the time. So I see there's one viewer left. Who's the viewer? Just go ahead, sort of make yourself known. Let me know that you're here so that I know who the true fan is. Don't see anything in the chat, guys. Some fans I have, all right? No, no, I have great fans. Don't you guys worry. I'm not putting you under the bus. I think it's probably been about 5 minutes now. I'm gonna check. Actually, let me do one more thing. Let me check one more. All right, so internal wise, we're at 198. I'm just gonna give that another minute or two. Once it hits 200, we'll pop it out. Let it just kind of rest a little bit. And then will be taste time. You guys, for those of you that were here earlier, thank you. Again, sort of any kind of support is always great. Again, I'm not trying to make this my career or anything. It's just something I do for fun on the side. And it's always great to have people come in and support you. So thank you. Thank you for those of you that were here earlier. But yeah, we are almost done with it. something that like I didn't talk about earlier was like sort of how I actually prep, like everything before the 3 hours, or sort of everything that like I started, er, so everything that I did before the stream started. Um, so just to give you an idea of like the prep that went into it, last night I basically started doing the prep. I made the rub, and like the rub was just like a dry rub. Um, and so basically in the rub itself, there's a combination of the seasoned salt, normal kosher salt, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Um, I think I said garlic powder already. Um, a little bit of cayenne pepper, uh, a lot of freshly ground black pepper, um, a little bit of brown sugar, and I think that's pretty much it. Um, but that's typically what I use for these types of rubs. Um, again, I mean, it's not super simple, but it's also not super complex, right? I think if you add too much stuff to a rub, it, like sort of like all those flavors that you were hoping to taste, they kind of get buried and they kind of get lost. So, again, I went with something in the middle, and I think that's going to work out fine. Again, I've done ribs before plenty of times, but every time I do something smoked like this, I try to use a different sort of recipe, or try a different rub. Just something that I haven't done before, because it may be that I do this and I'm like, wow, that's the one right there. Like that's the, those are the best ribs I've ever had, type of thing, right? Oh, you know what? We probably 200 actually. Let me go check real quick. So we're still actually at 198. I'm gonna open this real quick. So I'll let that get closer to like 200, um, and then we'll pull that off, and then we'll just let it just kind of like rise up to 203. I've got stuff flying around everywhere, guys. I'm gonna clean up real quick before we go any further. Something else I'll do. Let's, so I think the fire had gone out. Um, okay, now it's back up and running. So we're at like 282. Yeah, 280, 290 degrees. So now I'll check back in about 2 minutes. and just see if it hits 200. But anyway, so I think I've gone over like the dry rub here. Um, yeah, and yeah, again, you guys saw me make like the actual like the glaze and everything, so you know what's in that. Um, but in terms of side dishes for this dish, I mean, like you can have green beans, you can do fried okra, like I was gonna do, mac and cheese, like scallops, potatoes. You know, even if you want to be healthy, you could do like a summer salad type of thing. Um, or like a pasta salad type of thing. And what's very traditional down here is, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't get any of this, to be honest. Um, what's really classic, like at any kind of barbecue joint down here, is to get some, or you can either get or sort of make some banana pudding. Um, that's a real treat, like in any kind of barbecue joint down here. So, but again, I'm not a baker, so yeah. I mean, could I make my own? Yeah, sure. Um, Logan Hall Sunstreams, yeah, dude, I'm fucking getting a tan out here, man. It's rough. It's rough. But let me check the temperature one more time, real quick. We're still sitting at 198. I don't know if something happened. It's like I broke in there. Uh, but yeah, I think what I'll probably do is, um, you know, once we hit like this final piece here, I will slice off one piece. I'll do a little taste test, and then I'll probably end it. And then probably what I'm going to do actually is I'll probably go to the store and get some more fried okra and a bit of pudding, um, just to sort of round out the meal and everything, right? But um, anyway, Mathis, worse than Marcelo. Yeah, dude. Woo. It's pretty bad, man. No, like I said, everybody's doing like the watch event like in New York right now, so I didn't expect to get a lot of viewers or whatever, but hey, what's nice, what's nice, well, okay. The point like I'm trying to make is my food that I'm about to serve up and taste, it's going to be better than Marcelo's. Oh, we no, yeah, really, Marcelo. Marcelo, I've never seen you cook ribs, man. This is a call to action for you, buddy. I want to see Japanese style ribs on your grill or like an oven, or hey, better yet, if you have a smoker, great. But again, I know you don't have a smoker, man. You're in that like 9x9 restaurant or whatever, right? So again, so you don't have access to like a smoker. But if you were to serve ribs to your customers, what kind of seasoning would you use? What kind of glaze? What kind of like Middle Eastern twist would you put on them? Let me know, bro. Okay, I think we're getting over 300 degrees now. Let me check the temperature one more time. So we did 200. I'm happy with everything. Again, as we saw earlier, I tried to do like the carryover heat. Man, it really dropped. So I just don't have a lot of confidence that it'll actually get up like to 203 on its own. I'll probably just let this go for like another minute or two. It'll get like to 201, 202, and then I'll pull it off. Again, I'll let it rest for like a little bit when I actually go and make it. Like, I mean, like it needs to rest for about like 15 minutes. I will go ahead like and slice off just sort of one slab, sort of one bone. just to do the taste test and just kind of like to round things out for the stream. Um, but again, what I'll probably do is I'll probably go back to the store. I'll get some more fried okra, and then I'll get some banana pudding, and that's going to round out this meal. That'll be what I actually eat, right? Um, but anyway, let's give it just another minute. Um, and again, guys, if you want the copy, I guess of to like sort of like the sheet that I was following along with, again, I didn't really finish like the story that like I was. Let's see. How do you not have people? Oh, that was from earlier. Sorry, Ollie. Bad audio. Okay. Um, Mathis, is the audio still bad? Let me know. Let's see. You sent that at 4:16. What time is it now? 4:19. So that was like like yeah, like 2 or 3 minutes ago. Um, so Mathis, tell me if it's still bad. Just be like, Logan, stop the stream, buddy. Um, but anyway, I'm just gonna keep going here. I'm assuming that the audio is fine or whatever. Um, but anyway, just to kind of round out the story from like the prep yesterday. Uh, so I actually used Chat GPT to get like the perfect ribs recipe, the perfect glaze, the perfect uh, uh, rub and seasoning and all that. Um, again, I can do this all sort of on my own, but like back when we were, you know, when I first started grilling, we didn't have Chat GPT, so I thought, you know what, let's actually look into this and see if it can actually put together like a better recipe than what I was doing, right? Um, so let me just check real quick. I think it's probably gotten there now. Yep, 203. Okie doke, guys. We are ready to pull it off. Bear with me for one moment. All right, guys, it's going to go to another black screen real quick. I'm going to take a picture. Actually, let me show you guys first, right? Front or no, sorry, back. Back triple. So, guys, these are the finished ribs. This is what you've all been waiting for. It's got a really nice sort of color to it, really nice glaze, and I think I knocked this one out of the park. But the only way to tell is to do a taste test. So what I'll do is I'm gonna grab a knife and I'm gonna try a piece out here. Guys. Oh, you know what? Sorry. Let me actually take a picture real quick. So this will go to a black screen. Sorry. So it turns out my mic was muted. Atlas didn't tell me, but guys, again, I don't know if you caught any of the audio of me, taste testing it. It's it's fucking amazing. Mm, mm, finger looking good. Well, guys, again, thank you for your time today. I will see you in the next grill stream. Take care.